Evening team, it's a quiet llama here. What a great day. I had some great meetings at work today and I'm off to buy a new video game, which is always reason for joy, right? I suspect I'm not the only one buying this game, although I suspect many have already purchased it via downloading it. Is Nintendo's Animal Crossing New Horizons, I think. So my daughter enjoys video games much the same as I. And I'm new to the franchise of Animal Crossing. I've never played the game. So yeah, I showed my daughter a YouTube clip of it and she was quite enthralled. So that's where we're going now, off to our local JB Hi-Fi to buy a copy of said game. Ah, I think it's just over there. Now all we need to do is get over there. Just by the cat farm there. A few bikes out tonight, always good to see. So this is sort of like the car yard strip of Brisbane. So car yards along here and also further down. So yeah, still relatively normal despite the pandemic. Though there's certainly fewer people at work today. The cafes seem to be having a little bit less business. Certainly not as bad as in the CBD. I was reading about one restaurateur being his business partner, and in 24 hours had 1,000 cancellations. 1,000 cancellations in 1 hour, in 24 hours. How crazy is that? If I read correctly, they had 5 or 6 restaurants. And I think the restaurant itself that they were talking about was considered the best in Brisbane. And, I mean, it's just an article, but pretty confronting, right? People have worked hard their whole lives, build up a business, something like this comes along, and potentially knocks it over. So, yeah, we are. Well, once I get the game, I'll be back with you, team. Well, I think my daughter will appreciate that. And away we go. Yeah, so we're happy to let my daughter play with video games. I mean, saying that she's not going to be playing the latest edition of Doom, and we don't let her play Fortnite, but creative games like Minecraft, she certainly plays. in Animal Crossing. Actually, my daughter and I have spent quite a bit of time together playing in Minecraft. It's a great game to allow kids to express their creativity and to learn. So, I was reading somewhere too that video games are very good for hand-eye coordination. So that's good. They're not the evil they were once perceived to be. And they're just so popular, right? You know, when I was growing up, older than how old my daughter is now, so I got a Sega. First I got a C64, a Commodore 64. That was great fun. Had Cabal, Operation Wolf, Skate or Die, California games, great stuff. In fact, it's not the original one I owned. I may have owned a copy. At home in my little collection, I have a cassette version of Cabal. I thought it was pretty neat. Basically, I just bought it for aesthetic purposes. I don't have a C64, nor do I have a tape deck to play the tape to transfer it to a C64. But I like it. I'm not even sure if the tape still works. You know? I think that was made in the 80s, that tape. So it's at least 30 years old. And tapes aren't made to last quite that long. And so sort of moved from the C64 onto the Sega Mega Drive. Had quite a bit of fun, although I must admit I think I may have preferred the Nintendo. But the Sega certainly had some great games. Streets of Rage. Actually, I see there's quite a long way into development on Streets of Rage 4, which looks like a neat little sort of retro game with cartoony kind of graphics. With Axel and Blaze. I think it's Axel. It might be Adam. And he had many a night where I'd invite some friends over, and I grew up in an orchard, so we had a packing shed. Would go into the packing shed, take a 14-inch TV, and just sit up and basically just play all night, play through the night, and just sleep the next day after everyone went home. Great fun. And the Sega Mega Drive was the last console I owned for quite a bit. Sort of fell out of console gaming. Got into a little bit of PC gaming while I was at university with some LAN parties. Half-Life 2, I think it was. And then decided to rejoin console gaming with 100 million or so other people with the Nintendo Wii. Particularly enjoyed the Wii Sports, again, as 100 million other people did. Bowling in particular was pretty cool. And of course Mario Kart. Then got a Wii U. Yes, I was one of the few to pick one of those up. A good console. And my sort of complaint about it is I buy Nintendo consoles for Nintendo games. It wasn't that it didn't have it wasn't about a lack of games, because it had all the Nintendo games there. As well as a great back catalogue, if I remember correctly. But rather it was the gamepad. It was where I lived. I think the walls were concrete, and you're relatively restricted in how far you could take the gamepad away from the console. Obviously something that the Nintendo Switch has overcome now. And so we have the Nintendo Switch, and also I got a Xbox One, and then when the One X came out, I upgraded to that. And yeah, all fairly enjoyable. I do quite like the fighting games. Killer Instinct is great on the Xbox, as some of the driving games, specifically the Forza Horizon games. Really enjoyed those. And I do play a little bit of Ride 3, which is a motorcycling arcade simulator kind of game. But the motorcycles are very challenging to simulate correctly in a video game. Not so much the aesthetics. They're amazing graphics. It's more how they feel and what you can do. There's sort of this balance between how you ride a bike in the real world and how you ride a bike in the simulated world. And it's to be ripping around in Ride 3, and if you go into you're a bit hot in the corner, so you slam on the brakes. Well, if you did that on a bike in the real world, you'd crash, basically. It would not be a good time. And then there's different things in terms of to what degree are you leaning versus how much are you steering the bike. Because they're different things, right? So you can sort of lean the bike over with the counter steering, and then in terms of getting around the corner, you can also lean your body off the bike, so you can move your butt across the seat, and that changes how quickly you get around the corner. It's very hard to map those kind of inputs across to a controller, so they don't. So every corner kind of is the same. You get your lean angle and your steering is all the same. So it doesn't quite feel right. But you know, it is what it is. It's still fun. Not as much fun, I don't think, as Road Rash. Oh, that was a game. That was a brilliant game. Actually, I think I've got a copy of that. I went through a bit of a phase where I started to buy retro games. I don't have any consoles to play them, but I just wanted to buy the cartridges. I know. So, yeah, I think I have a copy of that. It might be Road Rash 2. And so if you've never encountered Road Rash or Road Rash 2, have a look on YouTube. It's a game that was on the Sega Mega Drive, and basically you zoom along on these motorbikes. And what made Road Rash different from other motorcycle games was that you could hit or kick your opponents. I think you'd get like bats or chains as well. Quite a vicious game in its 16-bit graphical glory. What else did I play there? The other one was a strike series. There's Urban Strike, that was around the time of the Gulf War, the first Gulf War. Then Jungle Strike and Urban Strike. So you'd pile a little helicopter. So that was all good fun. Anyway, I'm just about to go into a motorway again here. So I'll see you next time, team. Hey, thanks for taking the time to view the video and hear my ramblings. Until next time, take care.